Hi guys. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a makeover on Kailee, because if you guys don't realize, this face always gets videos done because she's my friend, so I have all the time in the world to do her color. So what we're doing today is she's been kind of having, her previous color was a lot of blonde, so what we're going to do, I'll move my root beer, is give her just a few strategic lowlights kind of underneath this first layer of hair to break up her color and make it more dimensional, because we're putting in a whole new extension set today. So I'm going to be using liner in 20 volume, and then we're going to be going in with 6N by Redken Shades EQ just to give her a little bit more dimension to break up this area. So we're going to add in just a few highlights to kind of brighten here, and then around her face we're going to do her little money piece pop in the front, and then we're doing a whole new set of extensions. So come along and see what we do. Okay, so you guys can see underneath she's got a really nice amount of root growing out, but down here is pretty solid. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of doing like a baby light thing where if you look at how this is gonna fall, it's just gonna become way too soft and diffused. So this is where knowing your stitches is really important. So I'm actually gonna go in here and I'm gonna pick up some nice chunks, which sounds scary, but when it comes to doing balayage looks, it actually makes sense, because now when I lay this down, do you see how she's gonna have these really nice dimensional pieces coming through? And as a low light, it's gonna be really important that it doesn't just like fade out into one color. We wanna have that dimension. So we're gonna take our foil on our balayage board, and then we're gonna paint these pieces, so that way we're gonna have some nice dimension. So I'm doing one in this area, then I'm gonna do two more moving up, and then I'm gonna start some highlights just so I have some strategic low light placement. Because when you lose low lights and you use depth and dimension in the hair, it just starts to turn into one color. And if you're looking for a dimension, obviously you need to have some low lights in there. All right, so going into this next section, you guys can see I took it right in this area. So it's kind of like sitting on her crown, kind of a V at her crown. So I'm gonna pick up my thicker pieces, and then you can see she's gonna have that low light underneath. She's gonna have some nice little highlight from her existing, and then we're gonna put another low light here. And then from here, we're gonna be working this way to start putting in some, just few little highlights to kind of upkeep her hair. All right, so now we're gonna go in here and we're gonna put some horizontal highlights in. So I'm still gonna be picking up some larger pieces, not as large as these lowlights, but I'm gonna be picking up these pieces like so, and I'm gonna be like kind of brushing, feathering up, so that way it still stays nice and soft, because Kailee likes to go like 2-3 months without getting her highlights done, and it's perfect because it still looks good. So what we're gonna do is hold this nice and taut, and then I like to start a little bit lower, so we're not starting all the way up, so I can bring my color up. So I'm going to kind of go into these spots where it's got a little bit of darkness, and then I'm gonna brush this up so it kind of feathers it and makes it softer, so it's not harsh, but you're still getting these really nice, intentional, more dimensional, thicker pieces, so it doesn't just disappear in the hair, because that's kind of what her picture is that she sent me. And then whenever you fold, this is something that's important to me. I don't fold where I have my blending. I'm gonna take this hair, pull it out to the side. I'm gonna fold right below where I start blending this, and then I'm gonna fold this up so I'm not making a crease in the actual part where I did the blending, because then it can sometimes swell out and create a line. So I'm gonna be moving up probably a little bit less than 1 inch, and I'm gonna do another one here and just move my way to the front till I do the money piece in the front. All right, so now we're getting to the front, and the front is super important. So as I get about 1 inch to 2 inches away from the face, I start to do foils a little bit differently. So I've put my highlights in here. Now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of a different type of a pattern. All right, so you guys can kind of see this pattern that I have going here. It's going to be more like a traditional weave. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start going a little bit heavier as we go to the front, but we still like it to be soft. So I'm going to be sweeping it not exactly on her root area. All right, again, I'm gonna place this a little bit further away, and I'm just gonna kind of sweep this up. I'm gonna get these guys that are still dark, and then what I like to do is I like to come back and then just kind of rub on that, wipe your hands off so your hands don't get eaten apart by the lightener. And then you guys can see I keep it a little bit away from her root area, so it's just really nice and soft. And that way she has a soft grow out, but it's still a really nice bright pop in the front. All right, so around the hairline, we're gonna do just kind of some of those like soft baby light type stitches. So not like super heavy, super thick. We're just gonna do little soft ones. And I am gonna bring these up right around to the face just because we want these guys to be nice and bright. But I still do it a little bit soft at the top. So you're gonna place this color on and then just kind of bring it up soft. That way it's not super harsh. I'm gonna do probably 2 highlights, and then I'm actually gonna drop in like 2 lowlights just in this side panel so that she has some lows for some of that dimension going through the sides. All right, so we have a diagonal back section, and I did a little zigzag pattern. So I'm actually just gonna pick up these little points in this zigzag pattern. So that'll be our low light right here, and I'm gonna place 2 of these in here, and I like to place it at a diagonal back. So that way we're gonna be able to have this color fall away from the face really, really beautifully. And then we're gonna place 1 more right above that, closer to this top line. Obviously everyone's hair is gonna be different depending on their type of hair and their density. But this is perfect for Kailee's hair. Okay, so what I did in the top is I actually did go back through and add a few lowlights. So I didn't add any lowlights in this first whole 2-inch section because remember, that's her money pop. But every other foil, so I did 2 foils and I did a lowlight. I did 2 foils and I did a lowlight, just so that we do create that dimension through here, just a lot smaller pieces. So that way we're gonna have some dimension, but it's gonna be softer and then fall into these bigger dimensional pieces underneath. So now we're gonna let her process under the heat lamp, and then we'll rinse her out and tone her. And this is where we're gonna kind of talk about toning people's hair to the extensions that they want, because we're also gonna actually go in and do a little bit of like low lighting in some of her blonder extensions to make sure that we're gonna get a really beautiful marriage of her color to the extension color so nobody knows she's got extensions. All right, so we're gonna add in some lowlights through this beautiful rooted blonde, because if we want dimension, we need to have some dimension. So we've got this gorgeous color, and then we have a dark color. So we do have already some dimension, but this just needs a little bit more dimension going through it. So doing dimension on highlights can be pretty, or doing like dimension with highlights and lowlights on extensions can be pretty hard. Instead of picking up actual pieces like this that are gonna look stripey, what I actually do is I actually do like almost like a skim pickup type of a technique. So I kind of just like go like this and pick up little bits of the extensions, because I really don't want to be doing anything stripey through the hair. And extensions, it just will turn up stripey if you don't do it in a specific way. So you guys can see this is going to be a little bit softer, but we're still going to add some nice dimension through these blonde pieces. So remember, anytime that you're adding color onto extensions, you want to go a little bit warmer, because what's going to happen is extensions will pick up really, really cool just because of the way that they're processed. So I'm actually going in with a 6 and a 9 NB. It's got some of that warmth in there, but just enough. And this is gonna help to add that dimension, add some of that darkness, but do it at the right tone so it doesn't end up turning green, because nobody wants green in their expensive extensions. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this up because I've kind of folded this in 3 for the whole weft, and I'm gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna do it again on this side to get this side of the extension weft, because these are machine tied wefts, not hand tied. So I have to grab the whole line to be able to color these. So I'm just gonna kind of lay it in this. And if you guys do not have this, you need it right now. This is by Hairworks. And I can blow dry, color, do all the things for my extensions, and it's seriously so helpful. So this little guy is like my extension assistant. So you just do that, close it up. You can comb it and do all the things. All right, so I am toning the blonde extension so you guys can see some of those low lights going through there. They're absolutely perfect, so beautiful. And then I'm toning these extensions to kind of go with Kaylee's hair. So what we're doing is we have NB in here. So we have 9 NB, 7 NB, and I did like a splash of 6 NB. So this is gonna help to really tone these guys because we don't want them to be too blonde, but we need them to be a little bit darker than what they are. So we're just kind of going in here and watching how this goes. And again, remember, whenever you tone extensions, if I was just to put probably like an N on here, it would go super ashy. So we're making sure that we're putting the correct tones in here, so it's gonna be the exact color that we want. Look at that dimension. That's gorgeous. Okay, so we are toning Kaylee's ends of her hair with 10 VV just straight, because she does have darker hair, so we don't have to really worry about anything like purple happening. So as you can see, it's toning out really beautiful to be the exact thing that we're looking for. So just kind of canceling out some warmth, but keeping her hair light so we're not toning it down. We just want to correct her tone, and I think it's looking perfect. Okay, look at these extensions. These colors turned out so perfect, so beautiful. So now we're gonna put them in Kaylee's hair.